I took over as chairman of the CCI in February 2009, it was relatively easier for us to get the anti-competitive conduct provisions section 3 and section 4 notified on 20th May 2009. So as soon as the commission was duly constituted under section 18 of the act, which means chairperson and 2 members, like there were 6 members, recruitment of the critical mass of the professionals, their capacity building, and the constitution of the competition appellate tribunal, which was completed on the 19th of May. So the notification of section 3 and 4 could be undertaken on the next day, which is 20th of May, and the commission immediately started accepting cases and initiated enforcement proceedings under the act. But the provisions under section 5 and 6 for the review of combinations, it took much longer. It could be notified in March 2011 after full 2 years and effective 1st of June. It needed quite a lot of advocacy for 2 years with the industrial associations, chambers, many of whom had feared and represented to the government that this would act as a dampener to the new investments, and it would be like another mother-in-law in the process to handle. It was quite a tough job for us to convince them that this mother-in-law is going to be a very friendly and loving mother-in-law. My friend Mr. Manoj Pandey is here, he would bear me out. The number of meetings we held in various centers with the chambers and associations, convincing them what are the benefits that this would give them legal certainty, or else CCI would be in a position to review any combination and could under section 28 even dismantle it if it is found it is dominant or is owed to anti-competitive behavior. And then it would be very painful to unscramble the egg. Another fear of the industry was it would delay M&As, so we had to assure the industry that we shall endeavor to clear 95% plus of the cases in less than 30 days and do the remaining within, in any case, 180, but less than that. On their apprehension that the process would be complex, we assured the industry that we shall introduce a system of pre-filing consultation where they would be able to get guidance on the proposed M&A, but without a commitment which would be decided by the commission, and assured that we would try to make it like file, smile, and go. Manoj and I coined this term at that time. I'm glad to say that the CCI has honored all these initial assurances, and the staff and the professionals, they exhibited utmost professional competence and maturity, whereby now CCI is counted among the most matured antitrust agencies in the world. So where have we come and what have we achieved? CCI has unconditionally approved over 850 notifications, all within a period of 30 days. In fact, the average time taken is about 22 days, about 98% cleared, and some 10 odd cases have been approved with certain conditions, remedial, structural or behavioral remedies, and not a single transaction has been blocked so far. A great success story indeed. With the evolving market dynamics, the CCI has been undertaking changes in the M&A regulations, of course, in consultation with the stakeholders, smoothening the filing and post-filing processes, and recently also introduced a green channel, which was talked about, and filing has been made very easy online, and there have been other changes like doing away with the non-compete scrutiny during the competition assessment. I believe there have been over 40 green channel filings made so far during the last 2 years of its implementation. What does CCI look at in the M&A transaction? Very simply, they look at whether a notified transaction has an appreciable negative effect on competition in India. If a transaction is notifiable, parties must wait until CCI reviews and determines the transaction. It can require the party to make suitable modification and so on. At one stage, a point arose whether all acquisitions are notifiable. At one stage, a view was taken that even one share, if it was acquired, it would have to be notified. But soon, a decision was taken about de minimis, and accordingly, smaller notifications are not notifiable. I'm mentioning this only to come to the other part of my brief conversation about the digital economy and what does M&A in the digital economy means. Well, first of all, let me say that the first point of digital economy was that the interaction with CCI during COVID pandemic was digitally, and even today we are talking digitally. And I must give my compliments to my colleagues in the CCI and the lawyer community who are involved in assisting the CCI, that this process of digital consultation, digital interface has been very successful. And although it cannot be compared with the actual interface, but still it's been done very well. Since enactment of the Competition Act, the government has been during this, I'm talking from 2002 onwards, and the Indian economy has evolved into a digital economy. And now today's newspapers were full of statement by the MeitY that we are marching towards a 1 trillion digital economy, and the MeitY has evolved a 1,000-day plan. And there was another statement by the Minister for Telecom and IT that we are planning to have world's largest connected ecosystem, world's largest connected nation in the world. It is important that we prepare ourselves to the digital economy, and the market regulator is also enabled and evolves tools whereby it can look after the digital antitrust behavior or trends which can arise in the economy, and I briefly touch upon them. In fact, globally also the antitrust agencies have been reviewing their existing tools, sharpening them to make them effective in the present context when data is the new currency. So in brief, what we mean is that the data-driven mergers and acquisitions, we have to see how best they could be reviewed in the present era. And I must say CCI has been performing this job very efficiently from the various cases which it has handled, and many of them have been upheld at the superior courts also whenever these have gone, and we can see what has happened there. The CCI, while it has been handling those matters itself, but otherwise the government has had constituted a body, CLRC, Competition Law Review Committee, and in fact several of you were members there, even I was present. And the CLRC, they undertook some of the decisions at that time, which also indicated that they could include a few parameters in addition to the assets and turnover. And so under section 5 and 6, both there would be a few more parameters which would be included in order to take care of digital transactions. So earlier in section 5 and 6, there were only the limits of the assets and turnover. Now the government has been empowered that they could include any more elements which could be data basically, where they could look at the control, the propensity by the companies on acquisition of data, and similarly in the case of dominance, or in the case of appreciable adverse impact on competition, the CCI could look at various parameters by which they could see whether there has been appreciable adverse impact on competition. Globally, this matter has been reviewed. In UK, there was a Furman review on this thing. In USA also, as it was just mentioned by Google, that the President Biden had come up with a 72-point plan, and the chairman FTC Rina Khan has been very active on this. And some of the initiatives being taken is that even the past acquisitions, some of them, like for example, the Facebook, when they acquired WhatsApp and Instagram and so on, and they acquired it, by the way, at a much higher value than these enterprises were evaluated at that time, and they had an eye on the data part, and not only them, number of others similarly. So some of the past acquisitions could also be reopened, and they could be looked at whether they are presenting any anti-competitive threats to the economy. So with these trends, there could be a situation that, and since globally the competition agencies interact with each other all the time, there could be a situation that CCI may also have to look at new tools, and whether they would need to reopen some of these earlier combinations, which some of them were not even filed here, because at that time the filter was such that they were not required to be filed, but they could be looked at. So friends, I feel delighted, privileged, and honored to have been given this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing uh, my other colleagues. I believe there are going to be many other very interesting sessions, including on the killer acquisitions, on which I was meaning to talk, but then I noticed that this is a specific topic being included, and my friend Paku Khan is going to speak on them. So I would refrain from commenting on this. In any case, there is no time left for me. So once again, Santosh, thanks to you, and thanks to all my co-panelists and the participants for giving me a patient hearing. Thanks once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your address. And hearing you is always a great pleasure and honor. Learning from you, sir, always on not only the subject of competition law, but also on any subject topic that you are, thinking for all the 14. So thank you so much, sir.